phone calls are coming up.
The Empire's on the
I'll give the
run.
number out, and
Alex
we'll
Jones
get into more
and
ways
the
to boost your immune
GCN
system
Radio
with Dr.
Network.
Edward Group. I'm Alex Jones.
You've heard about the essential qualities of iodine when it comes to your well-being, and you've read the opinions of top experts regarding this good member of the halogen family. Still, reports indicate that iodine is absent in sufficient amounts from the daily lives of countless people worldwide. Now, our extra-strength new nascent iodine formula is here, Survival Shield X2, leading the way into the next generation of super high-quality nascent iodine. InfoWars Life Survival Shield X2 is derived from 200-plus million-year-old salt solutions found more than 7,000 feet below the Earth's surface. The result is a unique nascent iodine that is both concentrated and free of unwanted additives, genetically modified ingredients, and completely vegan. We even pre-screen our Survival Shield X2 iodine for radiation. Pure, clean, and sourced from deep within the Earth, X2 nascent iodine is available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor just won't quit.
After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality.
Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
Open your eyes. It's time to give your eyes a powerful nutritional boost. Sight is the primary input to the brain, arguably making eyesight the most important sense we have. And just like the other important organs in our bodies, our eyes function at peak levels when they are fed the proper amounts of essential nutrition. Open your eyes. Combining key ingredients like vitamin A, zinc, lutein, proprietary saffron bulb extracts, and more, OcuPower by InfoWars Life is a new formulation specifically designed to nutritionally assist the natural function of healthy eyes. Optimize the natural power of your eyes with the latest addition to the super high-quality InfoWars Life formulations, OcuPower. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to order OcuPower or call 1-888-253-3139. OcuPower. Open your eyes.
We are on the march. The Empire is on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Congress has a 7% approval rating in Gallup. The New York Times has an article out, Scotland's independence vote shows a global crisis of the elites. And it's similar polls in Europe. What are armored vehicles and a bunch of militarized police going to do when their grandma's having their house taken? It's just, people know this New World Order does not take us to a good place. And the dependency has just turned people, myself included, into unhealthy blobs. That's why I'm trying to have this journey to get back in shape. But it's good news when Newt Gingrich's just running around warning the elite. I've got this here in my stack. I'll pull it out in a minute. You know, citing that the system's in trouble. Here it is. It was a National Review. Gingrich warns GOP of population in turmoil this fall. And he says that aggravated Republicans have failed to offer a positive alternative to President Obama's agenda. Well, that's because they're bought and paid for by the same interests, Gingrich. You know that. And there's another one. Left blasts Clinton in secret emails. They absolutely hate her. Mainline leftists that really believe they're trying to build a better world. They have a name for it. It's called people that have been deceived. Because there's nothing liberal about the agenda of the big establishment liberal movement. It is authoritarian. It is totalitarian as the day is long. But it's trendy, so it's okay. Because after all, you know, the president wears sharp suits, has got a slick walk, plays golf, kind of looks like a professional golfer. He's just hanging back, smiling. Everything's all right. He's up there to look confident. All his surrogates take over. All his minions divide and conquer. He's there, oh, let's come together. Of course, you didn't build that business. You bitter clingers, I'll get those guns one day, don't you worry. Meanwhile, I'm guarding people with guns, but that's all right. What a world. What a world. Dr. Edward Group joins us. The toll-free number, if you've got any questions for him about herbs or about nascent iodine or about Ebola, he really is a knowledgeable guy, because I've had people that, you know, other guests on the show that are brain surgeons and mainline medical doctors and chemists and things, and they just are blown away by the info he puts out. And I know personally the products he helped us develop for InfoWarsLife.com, the Super Male Vitality, the Super Female Vitality, the Lung Cleanse, the X2, the other products that he helped develop with my dad, like the OcuPower for the eyes, but of course, the one that really blows people away, that's the DNA Force, which, by the way, it's got about 10 patented ingredients where you're allowed to actually make, you know, claims of what it does, because it's certified. It's a nutraceutical. We don't have it. It's sold out at InfoWarsLife.com. We'll get some in a few weeks, hopefully. But it's just amazing. You know, some people, a lot of people I know who had, like, nerve damage in their elbows, their knees, are like, my knee is numb when I take this. And, well, yeah, that's what we told people. That's what happens when nerves are growing back. At first, they tingle and get numb. I mean, I've got old sports injuries. I've been on this about 3 months, and they, you know, we have our own supply, though it's sold out, obviously. Anyways, it's a side issue. I didn't mean to digress off into that. Dr. Group, let's speak to that before we, well, here's the toll-free number. It's 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231 for your question for Dr. Edward Group. Again, I'm your host, Alex Jones, 800-259-9231. Dr. Group, going back here for just a moment to what I was talking about with the products, I want to do a plug here. That's how we fund our operation, plus they're great products. The Oxy powder that we still have in stock that you developed, that is the, you know, proprietary on-record Mac Daddy of the oxygen tablets that clean out the guts, the first and the best. And just, I've had truly amazing results with it, flushing out my system. Only been on it about a month, and it's, people can see how much weight I've lost around the abdomen area. Specifically, though, I want to talk about that and some of the other products here, but specifically getting into DNA Force and why it's so dramatic.
Well, the good news is, which I was going to tell you anyway, and for the first time, is we should have some shipped out to you guys tomorrow. So you should have it available by early next week. It's just an amazing formula that your dad and I put together, because we looked around and there was nothing out there, and everybody really wants to repair themselves and slow down the aging process. So when we were doing the research, you know, all aging and all disease starts at the cell. I mean, if you look at the cellular function, cells breathe, they eat, they drink, they go to the bathroom, they do every single thing that you do. So the problem is, if we have 100 trillion cells in our body, is that our cells are contaminated. You know, what surrounds the cell is water, and what's inside the cell is water. It's like a balloon. It's really not water. It's more like salt water. It's like it's almost identical to seawater. The problem is, whenever our cells are unhealthy, what you eat and what you drink and what you're exposed to on a daily basis ends up in that water surrounding the cells, or ends up in the water inside of the cells. And those are going to be your heavy metals, your pesticide residue, your insecticide residue, the genetically modified stuff, the viruses, the bacteria, all of these things that end up surrounding your cellular fluid that cause the cells to have to replicate faster and faster. And when your cells need to replicate faster, what's going to happen is they can cause cancer. It can replicate into an oncogene, a cancerous cell, or each time it replicates, you have what's called telomeres that become shorter and shorter and shorter. And scientists at Harvard have come to the conclusion that they can measure your aging based on the length of your telomeres. So the DNA force is really, and when I was talking about, cellular damage, it's really due to free radical damage. All those chemicals and toxins out there are nothing more than free radicals, harmful free radicals. So when we were developing DNA Force, what we wanted to do was put together a formula that would strengthen the cell, that would fight against free radical damage, high antioxidant content, but use compounds that have been proven effective for years and years and years by other companies that have actually done the research on these individual ingredients, and then put them all together into one supplement. And that was the birth or the creation of DNA Force.
And it's organic types of the patented ingredients. That's what's so important. It's not the synthetic version. It's the type the body's able to upload.
Right. No one's ever put more than maybe 2 of these ingredients together in any formula. That's why there is no formula in the world that compares to this. Anybody can look on your website on InfoWarsLife.com and go under the ingredient list of DNA Force and type each ingredient in Google. And you can actually read for yourself all the benefits and the clinical studies that were done on each individual ingredient. And then combine all those benefits into one hardcore packed supplement. And you can only imagine the benefits that you're going to get out of it. We've just had, rave reviews. I take it personally on a daily basis myself, just because I know how strong it is. And, even though I'm super clean, I have plants in my office, I have an air purification system going. I mean, I drink clean water, eat organic foods. You're still exposed to environmental toxins when you travel. You're still exposed to stuff all the time. And, I have to admit, I actually do get a little stressed from time to time just because, everybody does. So I try to control my stress at the same time. But protecting the cells is a key factor.
And you talk about a lot of that is having really clean water, drinking a lot of water. Obviously eating a lot of roughage and things like that. I mean, it's a lot of things you do. I want to go to phone calls here and talk more about detoxifying, but let's put in a plug for the Oxy powder that you developed. We do have it. You guys told me for, I don't know, it's off and on for a year, I should take it. And I was like, really, oxygen tablets? I hadn't really listened to you and read that it's your proprietary system where it opens up in the intestines. And let me just say it's dramatic. And it's unlike any other cleanse I've ever done. And it's been dramatic on my waist size going down. It's just simply amazing. Dr. Group, tell people about Oxy powder, available at InfoWarsLife.com.
Well, years ago, when I finished my research after, 15 years of doing research on the cause of all disease, I wrote my first book, which was called Health Begins in the Colon. And also disease begins in the colon and really the intestinal tract. Everybody calls it the colon, but it's the first exposure point to all the disease-causing toxins. It's how every single thing gets in the bloodstream. I mean, you might breathe a few things in through your lungs, but a lot of it gets caught in your mucous membrane and ends up, draining back down into your stomach and into your intestines anyway. So once we realized that all disease-causing chemicals enter through the intestinal lining, the next thing was, what's going on with everybody's intestinal lining? And then we started finding out that 10 out of 10 people, usually over the age of 30, have some form of intestinal problem, whether it's not enough probiotics, whether they're eating too acidic foods, they're eating GMO foods, they have leaky gut syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, celiac, bloating, gas. I mean, the list goes on and on. So then we found out that most people aren't having 2 to 3 bowel movements a day like they should. So we just put 2 and 2 together and said, wait a second, what people need to be doing ultimately is eating clean food and more raw foods and stuff like that, but they're not. So what can we do to help people clean their intestines on a regular basis that's going to be safe and effective and not harm the intestinal lining, but actually chew away and break down all that compacted fecal matter that's been there for years and years and years and years and start repairing their intestinal lining? 70% of your immune system is in the gut. The gut is the